Welcome to the end of day review for Wednesday, the 7th of February 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, as you can see, there were no red folder news events, and as a result, there weren't any considerations in this regard relating to our trading. So, moving on to the daily chart, essentially what we can see here is that the bearish trend is beginning to form. We're getting these deep pullbacks, so it's not unlikely for this pullback to be quite deep. And then the other significant factor, once we break through the swing structure, is that the fact that we've got this significant daily structure point, which may provide the liquidity the market may need to provide another significant pullback. However, yesterday we closed within the previous day's candle, thus validating that this swing low is actually an external range liquidity swing low, and that essentially meant that that ERL continuation momentum state that I mentioned yesterday effectively ended, and now we were pulling back into a Proton confirmed OB. And coming into today, essentially my bias for London was to actually short and ultimately target the swing low. However, what we can see is quite late in the London session, around 4 hours into the London session, we had this 4H candle close, body breaking this Proton confirmed chalk OB. And that OB, I refer to it as a change of character OB because it validates the pullback phase primary leg. Essentially what that all meant was that for the London session we were right around this area, and I was purely looking for shorts. However, coming into the New York session, because we actually body broke this level, there was now reasons to consider longs, and there wasn't any 4H backing to enable us to build a 5-minute, 15 or 30-minute primary leg to then move towards the downside per the Proton narrative. Essentially, because we had no 4H OB nearby, everything nearby is effectively mitigated. For the New York session, we only have reasons to long, at least until we get to one of these OBs right here, 1, 2 or 3. So that meant that I effectively switched my bias completely between London and New York session, which was fine and per my plan. Then moving on to the 15-minute, perhaps to just go into more detail into what happened as we progressed through the sessions. What we can see is that Frankfurt put in a new high of the day, and then so did London, which and remember, at this point we were essentially looking for only short trades, and at no point did we get a Frankfurt or London validation, which then meant by the time 12 p.m. came around, we effectively broke this OB and validated the pullback phase, at which point the most prominent OB that made sense was this 15-minute chain that I'm highlighting right now, because at that time we had pre-Asia low of the day validated. We could anchor our fib to the pre-Asia low of the day, and the extreme at the time was roughly around here. Because we are trading long and there's no concern or consideration with regards to New York putting in a new low or high of the day, we could effectively trade this. But what we can subsequently see is that when New York came, it did take out the London range liquidity, validating that the London range low is likely to hold. So one option I did consider for taking an entry was setting my entry at the low of this POI and essentially covering either this, either using this level, this fib level as my stop loss, or this one rather than the 11% level, and that's purely because there's evidence to suggest that the London range low should hold, but it was a matter of preference which one you used. However, this POI in particular didn't actually meet my trade plan rules, because my trade plan, while I do have this supply demand flip validation of this POI right here, unfortunately none of the fib levels exist within this POI, And as you can see, the 50% level exists in this POI. However, this POI is already mitigated. As you can see, we went up, down, we had a candle body break of the structure, and thus this POI doesn't have any relevance for trading. And if we're setting our POI, our entry like this, we're still effectively trying to trade based off this POI, which doesn't have any fib backing. So for those reasons, I effectively didn't take any trade, and I was okay with keeping a trade open in and around these areas, just because there's actually fib alignment. However, the market doesn't seem to have much volume today, so I didn't take any trades, and I think that's perfectly fine. It worked out well. Capital was well managed, so all in all, a good day overall. Other than that, that's the end of day review for me. I hope you had a good day, and we'll chat again for London Outlook tomorrow.